You didn't stumble here, the field pinged you. Entanglement rarely announces itself with fireworks. It arrives as a cluster, your name in an unexpected message. A lyric, repeating the exact sentence you whispered last night. A number pattern blinking when doubt tightens your chest, when these pings converge. They are not random applause, they are coordinates. The field is telling you alignment is active. Alignment has a texture. It's not adrenaline, not the shaky thrill of gambling on approval. It feels like a soft click in the ribs. Breath settling lower. Attention widening as if a window slid open inside your skull. You sense the path leaning toward you. Time begins to ripple. Minutes dilate when you listen, then compress when you move. You don't feel forced. You feel escorted. The noise doesn't vanish, but it loses authority. Like static behind a clear signal, here's the hidden key. Your job is not to chase signs. It's to become legible to the field. When your inner broadcast is coherent, the quantum mirror reflects with embarrassing precision. Doors close cleanly. The right ones open without spectacle. We'll decode that language together: how to separate noise from signal, how to read the invisible script in conversations and billboards, how to trust the body's 3 green lights: sternum warmth, crown tingles, gut clarity. If this is on your screen, the conversation is already underway. Consider this your first calibration. Breathe in for 4. Breathe out for 6. Ask quietly, what is the smallest, honest yes I can offer today? Then watch how the field replies, not with thunder, with another ping. Perfectly timed. You are not late. You are right on cadence. Let this be the moment you trade fascination for embodiment. Doubt for practice. Waiting for one measurable move toward the life that is already leaning in. Most people confuse noise with signal. Noise is everything that clamors for attention without anchoring you the flood of notifications. The doom scroll. The random coincidences that only echo because you're hunting for them. Noise is static, it drains energy, tightens the jaw, speeds the breath. It shouts urgent but delivers nothing that changes your trajectory. A signal feels different. It is quiet, precise, and repeating. The field speaks through patterns, not drama. One billboard with a number is coincidence. 3 unrelated sources repeating that number within 72 hours is a ping stack. The probability collapse is the language of alignment. The field is not trying to impress you, it is trying to orient you. The key distinction is resonance. After encountering noise, you feel contracted cold urgency, shallow breath, scattered focus. After a true signal, you feel spacious, the chest softens, the breath deepens, the mind rests on one clear option. Alignment doesn't shout, it settles. Think of your nervous system as a radio. If you leave the dial spinning, every channel blurs into fuzz. But the moment you tune quiet breath, regulated attention, the channel locks. The voice is clear. This is why attention hygiene matters: fewer open tabs, cleaner inputs, slower transitions. The less static in your system, the less the field has to shout to reach you. So here's the test. When something shows up, pause. Ask, did this expand or compress me? Expansion signals alignment. Compression signals a trap. One yes feels like inevitability, not pressure. 3 yeses in 72 hours are the field collapsing probability into clarity. That's not noise, it's guidance. Reality behaves like a quantum mirror, a perfectly neutral glass that reflects whatever you broadcast. It doesn't edit, esagerate, or judge. If you send out static, the mirror fractures, the reflection chaos in your inbox, messy timing, scrambled relationships. If you send coherence, the mirror sharpens, conversations align, doors close cleanly, the right ones open without strain. Your inner broadcast is a mix of thought, breath, and nervous system tone. The field doesn't respond to affirmations shouted over tension. It responds to coherence felt through the body, slow breath, steady heart rhythm, and present attention act like polish on the glass. The reflection gets clearer. The question isn't, does the universe support me? It's, what signal am I transmitting? That reality is simply reflecting back. This is where attention hygiene becomes sacred. Imagine a quantum spotlight that follows wherever you place awareness. If you shine it on fear, the mirror amplifies fear. If you shine it on coherence, gratitude, calm, readiness, grounded choice, the mirror magnifies that instead. The spotlight doesn't ask whether the subject is worthy. It only illuminates where your attention rests. Energy collapses probability into form. Test this with small experiments. Wake one morning and commit to 5 minutes of slow breath before touching your phone. Notice how emails and calls feel less chaotic that day. Or walk into a conversation after grounding yourself with one long exhale. Watch how the dialogue takes shape differently. As if the script updated in real time, the quantum mirror doesn't reward effort. It reflects state. That's why frantic effort without coherence yields tangled outcomes. The mirror is impartial, not cruel. Polish your signal, and the reflection will clarify with startling efficiency. One sign by itself is fragile. It could be coincidence, wishful thinking, or noise dressed as meaning. But when 3 independent signals converge within a short window, usually 72 hours, the field is collapsing probability into clarity. This is called signal stacking. A lyric, a dream, and a conversation all echo the same phrase. That's not randomness. That's guidance inviting you to step. Here's the mistake. Most people wait for the 4th, the 5th, the thunderbolt. They crave spectacle instead of coherence. But the field rarely shouts. It prefers inevitability without pressure. Stacked signals are an open door already aligned to your feet. The only question is whether you'll walk through. That's where micro-action matters. Alignment is not confirmed by thinking harder. It's confirmed by moving cleaner. Send the email. Block the hour. Buy the ticket. Take the walk. These small physical anchors tell the field. Message received. Without action, signals fade to conserve energy. With action, new signals arrive like breadcrumbs placed just ahead. Micro-actions are humble on purpose. They don't demand massive risk. They build momentum without collapsing your nervous system. Each step stabilizes coherence, which sharpens the next reflection in the quantum mirror. Alignment becomes iterative signal, micro, yes, stronger signal, bigger yes. So ask, what is the smallest move that honors this? Not the grand leap. Not the perfect plan, just one step visible enough for the field to amplify. Remember, reality is not testing you, it is mirroring you. When the mirror shows the door open 3 times, don't argue. Walk. Your body is the first receiver of alignment. Before the mind interprets, the body whispers. 3 markers form the somatic trio: sternum warmth, crown tingles, and gut clarity. Sternum warmth feels like a hearth in the chest, a spreading ease rather than a rush. The shoulders soften, the breath drops lower, and you sense you could exhale forever. This warmth is not excitement, it's safety. It tells your nervous system, this direction supports me. Crown tingles arrive as a light fizz across the scalp. Often when clarity lands or truth resonates, unlike anxiety static, which feels jagged and urgent, these tingles feel playful. As if the body is smiling through the skin, it's the field brushing your antenna, confirming reception. Gut clarity is the simplest. A clean yes or no arrives in the abdomen without narrative. It isn't dramatic. It isn't heavy. It just is. When you override this clarity, you feel it immediately tension, indigestion, or restless pacing. When you follow it, the body sighs in relief. Together, these markers form your internal compass. Alignment doesn't come as a booming command, it comes as coherence across chest, crown, and gut. When all three glow in unison, you're broadcasting clearly and receiving accurately. The next time you're unsure, don't overthink. Place one hand on your chest, one on your belly, breathe once and ask. Warm, tingle, clear. Even one yes is worth testing with a micro-action. Your mind may debate, but your body doesn't lie. The somatic trio is the field's first language, and learning to listen makes every other signal louder and easier to trust. Alignment doesn't just whisper in the body, it bends your sense of time. This is the time ripple moment stretch when presence deepens, then compress when action flows. You may look up and realize a conversation lasted an hour, though it felt like 10 minutes. Or the opposite, you accomplish in 10 minutes what fear convinced you would take all day. Time stops feeling like a cage and starts behaving like a collaborator. The ripple isn't about productivity, it's about proportion. When aligned, the time available matches the weight of the step. Nothing feels rushed or dragged out. There's a quiet fit, as though reality itself is calibrating to your capacity. This is why aligned choices often feel strangely inevitable. You had enough time without forcing it. Paired with the ripple is the calm surge. Just before a clean action, a wave of steadiness rises from belly to chest. It's not adrenaline. It doesn't spike or shake. It's more like your body nodding. We can hold this. Muscles release. Vision clears. Heart steadies. If you wait too long, the surge fades. Not as punishment, but as conservation. The field won't drag you through doors you refuse to enter. Learning to ride the ripple and the surge is a practice. Notice when time dilates, pause. Breathe. Take the smallest aligned step. When the calm surge arrives, don't hesitate. Anchor it with motion. However humble, send the text. Make the call. Move the body. These ripples and surges are the field aligning inner readiness with outer opportunity. Trust them. They are your timestamps of alignment. Another way alignment reveals itself is through perception. Imagine standing before a cracked pane of holographic glass. In the past, you pressed against every fracture, reacting to each distortion, defend, argue, prove. Now, in alignment, you suddenly see through the cracks. The stories are still there, but they've lost their magnetism. You don't feel compelled to fight or fix. You simply witness. This non-reactivity is not numbness, it's freedom. The field is showing you that your signal no longer resonates with old triggers. Night carries its own channel, dream signals. Aligned dreams are rarely chaotic or cluttered. Instead, they're sparse and symbolic, holding a key. Walking through a door, standing at a crossroads, you wake not with a speech, but with a sentence clear, direct, sometimes only a single word. Write it down before you move. The field uses dreams as a low-resistance pathway to deliver guidance past the filters of waking thought. Notice also the feeling upon waking. If you rise with calm certainty, "I know what to do today," that's a night signal confirming alignment. If you wake foggy and unsettled, it may not mean you're off track, but that noise has crept in. The remedy is gentle, one grounding breath, one simple micro-action, and the clarity usually returns. Together, the holographic glass and night signals teach you this alignment simplifies perception, old triggers lose weight, and inner knowing bypasses clutter. You stop looking for proof outside and start receiving clarity directly. Sometimes in the quietest hours of the night, the field speaks when your defenses are asleep. The question is whether you'll write it down before the noise returns. When alignment deepens, reality starts closing the wrong doors gently and opening the right ones with ease. This is the shift from friction to flow. In friction, everything feels uphill, emails unanswered, plans stalling, people resisting. You push harder, and the resistance grows. In flow, obstacles either dissolve or redirect without drama. The project that drained you simply wraps up. The meeting cancels, leaving space for what actually matters. A no arrives that secretly feels like relief. Clean closures are the hallmark of flow. They are not punishments. They are reallocations of your attention. The field doesn't waste energy keeping doors ajar that don't fit your broadcast. Instead, it frees your hands for the handle already aligned. When friction flips into flow, life feels proportionate. You take a step. The ground meets your foot. You send a message. The response comes quickly. You follow a lead. The next piece appears without strain. The key is how it feels. Friction contracts jaw tight. Breath shallow. Body heavy. Flow expands. Shoulders drop. Breath deepens. Timing feels smooth. It doesn't mean easy as in zero effort. It means effort translates directly into movement. 1 hour of aligned work equals a day's worth of strained pushing. When you notice clean closures, honor them. Don't mourn the door that shuts with grace. Recognize it as the field saying, "Not this. Save your energy for what's about to align." Flow isn't luck. It's physics meeting your coherence. Your job is not to cling to every option, but to trust the ones that open without struggle. Alignment prunes, and pruning is proof you're on path. One of the clearest markers of alignment is the invisible script. Life begins to echo your inner broadcast in places too ordinary to stage. A stranger's casual remark repeats the exact phrase you journaled the night before. A billboard flashes the word you've been holding in your heart. A lyric on the radio mirrors the question you just asked yourself. These are not random echoes, they're feedback. The field is showing you the script is updating in real time. Alongside the script comes precision timing. Messages arrive at the impossible minute. An old friend texts right as you speak their name. You miss a train only to meet the person you needed on the platform. You delay sending an email, then find the perfect reply waiting before you hit send. It feels orchestrated, but it's not manipulation, it's calibration. The field bends probability to teach your nervous system to trust proportional action. The key difference between noise and script is resonance. Noise leaves you agitated, doubting, searching for more proof. Script leaves you settled, smiling, almost amused. You sense the choreography is bigger than you, yet completely attuned to you. Instead of scrambling for signs, you simply notice. Of course it showed up now. When you catch the invisible script, pause and anchor it. Whisper a thank you. Write it down. Or take one small step forward. Signals without action are just entertainment. Signals paired with embodied response become alignment. The field is less like a storyteller and more like a co-writer. The timing shifts as soon as you choose your next line. Alignment doesn't just shape inner signals, it reorganizes the people and resources around you. The field sends reflectors, individuals whose presence feels like recognition, not performance. You meet someone new, and the conversation dives straight into depth, bypassing small talk. Old ties may loosen gracefully. Without conflict, this isn't rejection, it's magnetic pruning. The field arranging your social sphere to match your current broadcast. Resources also align. The tool you need appears at the moment you're ready to use it. A mentor surfaces with advice exactly tuned to your next step. A budget line frees up just as the opportunity arrives. This synchronicity is economical. The field doesn't waste support on half-hearted signals. It delivers when your coherence shows you'll actually move. Even your environment begins to cooperate. Technology glitch less. Files upload smoothly. Calls connect on the first try. A traffic jam redirects you to a route that saves time, or puts you in the right place to see the sign you needed. These small efficiencies aren't coincidences, they're confirmations that your inner alignment is broadcasting stability. When three external markers converge: reflector people, resource synchronicity, and environmental cooperation, treat it as a green light window. Take a tangible step within 72 hours, schedule the meeting. Purchase the tool. Confirm the plan. External flow fades if left unused. But when you respond promptly, the field multiplies support, weaving even more resources into your path. Alignment is communal. It wants allies, tools, and timing to match you. When life delivers them, don't dismiss it as luck. Recognize it as the ecosystem adjusting around your frequency. Your coherence isn't only felt inside, it reshapes the stage you walk on. One of the biggest traps on the path of alignment is the observer loop, the endless cycle of chasing signs in order to soothe uncertainty. It feels spiritual, even productive, pulling one more card, asking one more reading, scrolling endlessly for synchronicities to appear. But underneath, it's anxiety in disguise. The nervous system demands proof before allowing peace. So you run in circles, collecting fragments of evidence, never resting long enough to embody the frequency you're seeking. The loop has many faces. Sometimes it shows up as false positives, moments when adrenaline surges and you mistake it for alignment. You feel a rush, a spike, a sense of urgency, and call it a sign. But adrenaline is not coherence. It contracts your body, narrows your vision, and pushes you toward decisions you don't truly trust. Alignment, in contrast, expands. It makes time feel abundant, not scarce. Other times, the loop appears as compulsive searching. You keep asking, is this the sign? And the more you ask, the more fragmented your perception becomes. You start stitching random coincidences into grand narratives just to relieve the discomfort of not knowing. Instead of clarity, you build castles of projection stories that collapse as soon as you try to act on them. The simplest test is resonance. After a true ping, your body softens. Breath drops lower. A quiet confidence spreads. After a false one, your body tightens. You feel rushed, pressured, or suddenly defensive. Real signals are repeatable. They don't expire the moment you pause to breathe. If a sign vanishes as soon as you calm yourself, it was never a signal. It was fear trying to pass for guidance. The trap of the observer loop is subtle because it keeps you entertained. You feel busy decoding, analyzing, waiting for confirmation. But alignment isn't about chasing louder proof. It's about becoming the proof. The field doesn't need you to hunt. It needs you to stabilize. When you regulate your system and act from coherence, signals arrive effortlessly. The more you chase them, the more they scatter. The more you embody them, the more they multiply. Alignment is never about getting the universe to speak louder. It's about quieting enough to finally hear what's been repeating all along. The secret most people miss is this: selection precedes observation. You don't wait for reality to prove a path is safe. You choose the frequency first, and the world reorganizes to reflect it. Alignment is not about chasing proof. It's about becoming proof. Think of your identity as the broadcast. If you identify as the one still waiting for signs, then every coincidence feels inconclusive, and you keep asking for more. But when you shift to the one who moves on coherence, suddenly the field doesn't need to send as many echoes. You've already selected the timeline. Observation simply catches up to the choice you embodied. This is the hidden quantum shift. Reality is not built after you see it. It is built as soon as you stabilize the frequency of who you are. Evidence follows identity. The nervous system is the architect. A regulated system says, "I can hold this path," and the field collapses probability into a route that fits. A dysregulated system says, "Prove it first," and the field scatters reflections into confusion. Most people reverse the sequence. They demand certainty before action, evidence before peace, alignment before coherence. But physics doesn't work that way. Coherence births alignment. Alignment births evidence. By the time you see it, the shift has already happened inside you. Test it with micro-practice. Instead of asking, "Will this opportunity work out?" try declaring, "I am the person who walks aligned paths." Notice how your posture changes, how your chest warms, how your attention steadies. That shift in state is the real manifestation. The field mirrors back a different script, not because it decided to reward you, but because you changed the broadcaster. The hidden quantum shift is humbling because it removes the drama. There's no cosmic lottery ticket, no thunderclap, just you, choosing frequency before proof, coherence before confirmation. Reality follows your state, not your speculation. When you embody first, observation becomes inevitable. Alignment often arrives not with celebration, but with a gentle rupture. Something that once felt central begins to dissolve, an opportunity dries up. A friendship drifts. A project ends quietly. At first it looks like loss. The ego panics. Did I do something wrong? Am I being punished? But the field doesn't punish, it redirects. What falls away in silence is often the exact interference that blocked your next alignment. Think of it like pruning a tree. A branch that once carried fruit is cut back, not because it was bad, but because it's finished. Energy is rerouted to younger shoots, future blossoms. In your life, a gentle rupture feels like a door closing without drama. The closure is kind, clean, sometimes even relieving. You realize you don't have to force what no longer fits. Many miss the gift because they expect alignment to always look like addition, new job, new love, new path. But subtraction is just as sacred. A canceled plan may free the very window you need to meet the right person. A not now may keep you from pouring energy into a path that would have drained you. A season of quiet may look empty but is actually fertile. The body knows the difference. Loss rooted in misalignment feels jagged, tight chest, restless mind, sharp grief, a gentle rupture. In contrast, brings paradoxical calm. You feel space opening, breath lengthening. Even as something ends, the absence feels strangely supportive. Like the silence after noise, the practice is trust. When a door closes softly, resist the urge to claw it back open. Pause and ask, what is this ending making space for? Often within days, the outline of a new opening appears. Alignment doesn't always announce itself with fireworks. Sometimes it whispers through absence. If you can let endings be teachers instead of villains, you'll discover that rupture is not the opposite of flow, it is flow. Changing form. Coherence isn't a mystical gift, it's hygiene. Just as you brush your teeth to prevent buildup, you tend your nervous system to prevent static. The field can only mirror the signal you broadcast. And if your baseline is chaos, the reflection will be messy. Baseline hygiene clears the channel, so signals land without distortion. Start with the body. Breath is the switch. A simple 4-6 pattern inhale for 4. Exhale for 6 guides the heart and brain into rhythm. 2 minutes can reset hours of scattered energy. Pair this with attention hygiene, fewer tabs open, cleaner inputs, slower transitions. The nervous system craves consistency. Every pause between tasks is a chance to polish the quantum mirror. Space is hygiene too. A cluttered desk broadcasts confusion, while a single clear surface invites focus. Alignment doesn't demand sterile minimalism. It asks for coherence between inner and outer. When your environment is arranged with intention, your body relaxes into it, and the field responds with matching order. Food, light, and sound are also signals. Heavy, rushed meals cloud the body. Harsh lighting agitates. Constant alerts shred attention. Swap them for gentler inputs. A meal eaten slowly. A lamp with warm glow. A phone on silent for an hour. These small edits train the body to trust that life is not an emergency. Above all, baseline hygiene is about proportion. You don't need perfect stillness, you need enough clarity that the field doesn't have to shout. Imagine holding a quantum spotlight wherever you point it. The field amplifies. If your spotlight is scattered, the reflection fractures. If it's steady, the reflection sharpens. Alignment begins not with cosmic downloads, but with small, ordinary acts of breath. A pause, a tidy corner. These rituals may look mundane, but they are the architecture of coherence. Without hygiene, signals get lost in the noise. With hygiene, every ping becomes unmistakable. Baseline hygiene clears the channel, but many rituals stabilize it. These short, repeatable practices turn coherence from a passing moment into a daily frequency. They are simple enough to remember in stress and powerful enough to reset the body's state. Start with the 3-breath collapse. Inhale through the nose for 4. Hold for 2. Then exhale for 6 while whispering, old frequency out. Repeat 3 times. This pattern signals the nervous system to downshift, collapsing the static of the old broadcast so the new one can stabilize. In less than a minute, you return to coherence. Next, the palm to heart vow. Place your hand over the sternum and speak, I am coherent with my highest timeline. This isn't affirmation layered on doubt. It's a vow sealed through the body. The warmth you feel is the chest broadcasting alignment, even if the mind resists. The body learns coherence through repetition. A third ritual is the anchor word. Choose one word that embodies the state you want: steady, clear, open. Speak it softly while exhaling. The field doesn't need elaborate incantations. It responds to coherence condensed into simplicity. The anchor word becomes a trigger every time you whisper it. The body re-enters the aligned state. These rituals aren't about summoning miracles. They're about proving to your system that safety and clarity are available on demand. When you stop outsourcing coherence to signs and start producing it through ritual, signals from the field arrive with far less delay. Keep rituals brief, embodied, and repeatable. Complexity creates resistance. Simplicity creates consistency. With practice, these mini-acts become reflexes. When chaos spikes, your body already knows how to reset. Coherence stops being a peak moment and becomes your default. If mini rituals stabilize coherence in the moment, frequency journaling extends it across time. This practice turns your inner broadcast into a trackable pattern. Instead of wondering whether alignment is real, you gather evidence directly from your own life. Here's the structure. Evening. Open a page and record 3 things. Pings noticed synchronicities. Signals. Subtle bodily cues. Body state calm. Tense. Spacious. Restless. Action taken: the micro yes. However small, sent message. Paused. Walked. Rested. Keep it factual and simple. Write billboard repeated phrase instead of long analysis. This isn't about storytelling, it's about pattern recognition. Within a week, you'll see what amplifies coherence and what scrambles it. Perhaps coffee late at night always precedes restless dreams, while a walk in nature precedes clearer signals. The field becomes easier to read when you've mapped your own responses. Frequency journaling also prevents amnesia. Without record, you forget how often alignment whispered and how reliably life adjusted. On bad days, the mind says, "It's not working," but the journal shows, "It worked yesterday." Last week, last month, doubt weakens against your own data. The key is consistency, not eloquence. 2 minutes a night is enough. Over time, your journal becomes a mirror of coherence. You'll notice your handwriting smooths, your language shortens, your questions simplify. The practice itself becomes a ritual, closing the day by reaffirming, "I am broadcasting with awareness." Most importantly, frequency journaling keeps you in dialogue with the field. You write, the field replies. You act, it reflects. You track, it adjusts. Coherence stops being an abstract concept and becomes measurable, lived. The proof isn't in someone else's story, it's in your pages. Signals are only alive if you act on them. The field doesn't send confirmations to decorate your day, it sends them to guide movement. That's where the 72-hour window comes in, when 3 independent pings converge. You have roughly 3 days to anchor them with one tangible step. Why 72 hours? Because coherence fades if it isn't embodied. Your nervous system receives the alignment, but without action, doubt creeps back in. Static builds, and the signal weakens. The field conserves energy if you ignore guidance. It quiets until you're ready again. Action, even small, tells the field message received. Keep sending. The step doesn't need to be dramatic. Book the room. Send the message. Schedule the call. Or buy the ticket. Even tidying a space can qualify if it directly reflects the alignment. What matters is that you move the signal from the invisible into the visible. The 72-hour window also prevents perfectionism. You don't wait to have every detail. Every plan, you respond proportionally 3 signs. 1 micro yes. That balance builds momentum without overwhelming your system. Think of it like a doorbell. If someone rings 3 times and you never open, they stop knocking. But if you crack the door, even slightly, the conversation continues. The field operates the same way, so track your pings. Notice the stacks. And when the 3rd lands, commit within 3 days. The signal isn't just information, it's an invitation. When you answer, the field answers back with the next breadcrumb. When signals feel ambiguous, the simplest way to converse with the field is through a binary protocol, yes or no, warm or cold, open or closed. Instead of asking for elaborate signs, you tune your body to respond with clarity in its own language. Start with the body check. Place your attention on the chest and belly. Then pose the question, is this aligned? If the body expands, breath deepens, shoulders soften, chest warms, that's a yes. If the body contracts, jaw tightens, breath shortens, stomach knots, that's a no. The response arrives faster than thought, because the nervous system processes safety and danger in milliseconds. Another method is the coin flip clarity test. Assign heads to one option, tails to another. Flip once and notice your first feeling, not the result itself. Relief signals the choice your body already trusts. Resistance signals the opposite. The coin doesn't decide for you, it exposes the decision you've hidden under doubt. The most important rule: pause before proof. If the answer only feels valid after you chase a dozen external confirmations, it's not alignment, it's anxiety. A true binary yes is calm, steady, repeatable. You could test it 3 times across the day and still feel the same response. Use the binary protocol for micro decisions. Do I send this message now? Do I join this call? Do I rest or push? Big shifts are built from thousands of these tiny calibrations. The field isn't asking for perfection, it's training your system to trust its built-in compass. Sometimes signals swirl endlessly in the mind, looping without clarity. To break the loop, use the paper gate ritual, a physical act that collapses indecision into action. The field responds powerfully when intention becomes embodied. Here's how it works. Take a blank sheet of paper. At the top, write the repeating thought or decision. This loop ends now. Or do I step into this path beneath it? Draw 2 columns, yes and no. In each, write the first 3 actions that would follow. Don't overthink. Let the body answer through the pen. When finished, fold the page in half along the column line. Feel which side pulls your chest open, which side contracts. That resonance is the real response. Then, choose one micro-action from the expansive column and do it immediately. Send the message. Block the time. Discard the object. Finally, tear the page. The act symbolizes the gate closing behind the decision. This ritual works because the nervous system trusts what it sees and touches. By moving the question out of mental static and onto paper, you give form to the intangible. The field amplifies clarity when you anchor it in matter. Use the paper gate ritual sparingly, not for every choice, But when a loop has trapped you for days, each time you complete it, the body learns I can resolve signals through action, not obsession. Over time, loops dissolve faster, and decisions feel lighter. One of the most powerful signs of alignment isn't inside you, it's reflected through others. This is the phenomenon of entangled mirrors. When your frequency stabilizes, people around you unconsciously begin to echo it. A friend casually voices the exact phrase you've been repeating in meditation. A stranger's question mirrors the decision you've been weighing. Even a child blurts out the very truth you've been resisting. This isn't coincidence, it's entanglement. The field uses human mirrors to amplify your awareness. Just as particles influence each other across distance, aligned consciousness ripples into the collective. You are both sender and receiver, broadcasting your coherence and catching its reflection in others' words and actions. The key is discernment. Entangled mirrors feel uncanny but grounding. Instead of leaving you anxious, they bring relief. I'm not alone in this frequency. Unlike projection, where you force meaning onto others, entanglement flows effortlessly. The timing feels precise. The message simple. The resonance unmistakable. Treat these mirrors as confirmations, not crutches. They're reminders that your signal is real and active, not a substitute for your own inner compass. When someone reflects your alignment, pause, breathe, and anchor the clarity with one micro-action. The field will send more mirrors as reinforcement, but only if you demonstrate movement. Entangled mirrors prove alignment isn't a private phenomenon. Your coherence participates in a collective broadcast. The clearer you are, the clearer the reflections become. Every conversation, every encounter becomes part of the hologram. And when you see yourself reflected with such precision, you know the field is not distant. It is speaking through every voice you meet. Alignment is not only personal, it's contagious. When your frequency stabilizes, it creates collective resonance, where groups begin to synchronize around coherence without needing to plan it. You've felt it before, a room calming as one person breathes slower, a conversation deepening because someone dares to speak truth, a meeting shifting direction after a single clear statement. The field doesn't amplify chaos, it amplifies coherence. And one regulated nervous system can reset many regulated nervous systems. This resonance works like tuning forks. Strike one fork, and another across the room vibrates at the same pitch. Human systems function the same way. Your steadiness signals safety, and safety unlocks authenticity in others. Suddenly, people share insights they've been holding back, or laughter emerges from nowhere, dissolving tension without preaching or pushing. Your alignment ripples outward, upgrading the entire field around you. The beauty of collective resonance is its subtlety. It doesn't require leadership titles or loud declarations. It begins with the smallest embodied choice, a pause before reacting, a breath before replying, a willingness to hold presence when others scatter. These microacts seed stability, and the group unconsciously reorganizes around them. When you notice resonance, anchor it. Name the clarity in the moment. Feels like we're aligned here. Invite the group to act on it quickly, before noise creeps back in. Collective alignment is fragile at first, but strengthens with repetition. The more often groups taste coherence, the more natural it becomes to return. In the end, collective resonance reminds us that awakening isn't solitary. Your alignment is never just yours, it's a broadcast the whole room can tune into. By tending your own signal, You make it easier for the collective to remember its song. Beyond individual mirrors and group resonance lies something vaster: the morphic field. This is the collective memory of humanity, a field of patterns that grows stronger each time someone embodies coherence. When you align, you don't just shift your own timeline, you strengthen the blueprint that others can access. Think of it like paths through a forest. The first traveler struggles, cutting through brush, stumbling over roots. The second finds it easier, the trail slightly clearer. By the 100th traveler, there's a smooth walkway. Alignment works the same way every time you choose presence over panic, coherence over chaos. You make it easier for the next person to do the same. The morphic field also explains why awakenings often happen in waves. Suddenly, people across the world begin having the same dreams, insights, or breakthroughs. It's not coincidence, it's resonance in the shared field. Just as birds flock or fish school without a leader, humans synchronize through invisible patterns. Your role is both humble and profound. A single act of coherence, a breath instead of a reaction, a clear boundary. A gentle rupture feeds the field. That energy doesn't vanish, it ripples outward, joining the collective archive. And when you falter, you can draw strength from the same field, leaning on the paths others have carved. The morphic field is proof that awakening is communal physics, not private fantasy. Every aligned choice echoes far beyond you. You are not just adjusting your life, you're tuning humanity's frequency. And every time you do, the path becomes wider, clearer, easier for all who walk after you. You were not here by accident. Every signal you've noticed, every synchronicity that pulled you closer to this moment, is part of the field reminding you you are already aligned. The warmth in your chest, the clarity in your gut, the mirrors in others, all of it is proof that your frequency is active and real. Now the invitation is simple: declare it. The field amplifies what you embody, not what you postpone. Speak it out loud or write it in the comments. I am aligned with my highest frequency. That declaration isn't wishful thinking, it's a frequency lock. A broadcast that tells reality which script to mirror back. Remember, signals don't end when this video ends. They will keep arriving through time ripples, gentle ruptures, entangled mirrors, and collective resonance. Your task is not to chase them endlessly, but to act on them. Anchor them, embody them. Alignment is no longer a mystery outside of you. It's the natural state you return to when you trust your own coherence. Your shift is not waiting. It is happening now. Declare it, anchor it, and watch as the field reorganizes around your yes